Well,
They send the overflow guys there. You guys have nothing to do.
I'm going to get us started because I think we're going to have a lot of discussion tonight, so I'm going to save time for all of it. Thank you all for coming. We got a pretty decent sized crowd here. We want to keep pulling chairs from the back as we go. Thankfully, it's not too warm in here tonight.
No,
maybe the discussion doesn't get too heated up.
I'm promising to be good.
That's good. All right. So thank you everyone for coming. If you haven't met me, I'm Chris, one of our vice presidents. Our other vice president, Aaron, is out sick. We have Brenda, our secretary, here as well. Gray, our treasurer. So if you need to pay your whopping $10 dues as a household for the year, you can see him. We have Zach, one of our board members as well. Liz, Liz in the back, one of our board members. And who am I leaving out? Curly's not here right now, and Dan is it? I think that's all.
Yeah.
I think I got everyone covered.
Tom, there's chairs in the.
Let me see. We've got, I think, a lot of new faces, but I don't know if anyone who has. Well, you know what? I'll skip the introductions, but usually we're just introducing like one person to all the regulars, but we've got a lot here tonight. So because we're gonna have time here in a minute to let people go around and check some of these out. And I think definitely talk to your neighbors if you haven't met them, find out where they are, know where you are, in and around Ward's Corner. But thanks everyone for coming, and I will start us off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and I'll turn it over to Officer Toth here for our crime report.
I thought we stopped calling a crime report, a police update.
Police update.
Oh. Resource officer report.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds
Is it
good.
Toth or Toth?
It's so.
Toth.
I'm sorry. I didn't think either one. I won't correct you either. So, on 8/27, you had a larceny from Auto, 7600 block of Sherrill Drive. Vehicles left unsecured. Items were taken. 100 block North Shore. You had a larceny from Auto. The truck bed cover was damaged and tools were stolen. 7700 block of Favor. You had a larceny from Building on 8/27 again. Detached garage, unsecure. Items were stolen from there, including a motorbike. 200 block of Burleigh. You had a larceny parts from Auto, 2 stolen license plates, and 200 block of Sterling Street. 910, you had a stolen vehicle. It was a moped stolen from the residence out front. That's what you had.
Any questions for the officer?
Additions.
Anything from our favorite establishment?
Oh, is it an establishment? Sort of.
I think it could be now. Can you clarify what?
Burley.
101 Burleigh.
101.
Oh, okay.
I'll look and see if Codes has anything or
Okay.
if anybody has anything working there. So.
I'm still getting a lot of people, kind of wandering out of the house.
And cars pulling up there all the time.
Weird.
They drive and go up the other side for like 2-3 minutes.
Drive-through.
It's a drive-through, yeah, it is.
I had one question about the homeless. There's a homeless fellow that's sleeping in front of, I think, the mayor here for a while. I see him there today, so maybe this is already resolved. But is that something
behind?
like in front? Like, I think he was literally blocking their door the one day.
Where was that?
Is that like the businesses
The
report
shopping
that,
center.
or can you
Oh, yeah.
The
do
hearing.
anything about that yourself? I wasn't clear
You
what
can
the
call it.
They
regulations
sleep
are.
on the
Yeah, anybody
side.
can call it in if they see it.
I see them over there in the mornings.
They pretty much all have tiered letters, trespass letters on them.
Okay.
So yeah, the officers will come out and take care of it.
Okay.
So if you see it, yeah, by all means, you can call it in, just say homeless individual sleeping in the
Okay.
doorway.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like they can't even get into business because
blocking it.
Same thing at
He wasn't there today, so again, it might have resolved itself already.
Right, and the Miracle Year place, that's only open on Wednesdays, so they may not even be aware.
And on the side of that building.
People blowing the stop signs out here.
Oh,
I walk my dog and, I mean, I saw 3 cars in one little walk with people blowing through the stop signs.
You're talking about
It happened to me
Newport
today.
here?
Yes,
Sure.
on Newport.
Yeah.
Well, I had it right at Maycox and North Shore, or not Maycox,
I recommend.
North Shore and Cedar Lane.
Yeah, all the ones on North Shore, because they cut through too.
Yeah, all of them.
All right, I'll see what I can do with that. That's something I can take care of. Basically, if there's the traffic things, our traffic division they're really ramping up at the areas where we've had fatality accidents and things like that. So some of the other side streets and things like that will fall to the community resource officer and the patrol guys. So what I'll do is we have new officers that are out getting trained, so they need to learn to write traffic summonses and things like that. So I'll put word out where they might get the most action. So,
So how long's the construction on Little Creek, because that's part of the issue.
yeah,
And they're cutting through because it's backed up for blocks, because it's one lane.
yeah, yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah, they've been doing that before.
Been doing it forever.
Before the construction. They always cut through. They'll come down Newport, then tear down.
rock. It's got antique plates on it. It's pretty rough looking. It's a block down from Terminal, parked on the east side of the street. I don't think it's moved in months.
Okay.
And it's parked in front of a house where
Is
they,
it close to your house? Is it across the street from your house?
yeah, across the street, but down a block.
Okay.
But the house there where it's parked, that fellow does a lot of repairs to cars and it's
Does he
off
have a
his,
Mercedes too?
yeah, he's got
I think
a
there's
lot
one
of
out
stuff.
there, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So before they used to go in and stop him from doing all this work and parking cars all over the place, but I don't know.
Yeah. I've been
It
there
looks
before.
pretty bad. The bumpers hanging off and
Okay, I'll look into
Yeah.
that. I know what
Real
you're talking
antique.
about.
It's legal, though, that's the thing.
well, that's,
No.
I'm not
Antique
sure.
tag makes it difficult if it's missing, like sometimes if I can look and see it's missing major parts then. Or if the tag doesn't come back to it, so we'll see.
Well, usually when he's home, I've noticed him parking cars like this far.
I'll get that donuts, right? All right.
You know, you're always going to get that.
You
speeding
said it,
on
not
Rough
me.
I did.
You said it.
Embrace it.
You're always going to get that speeding on Rough Road.
Yes, ma'am. That's like the whole sector is down on larceny from autos. It's larceny others that are up, which are like a category. They're usually either like if you left your wallet at First Teeter and then went back to get it and somebody stole it, that'd be classified as a larceny other. It just doesn't really fit into a category. Right now, those are up by about 6. Non-residential burglars, so shed break-ins, they're up a tiny bit. So maybe they're up by like 2 from where we were. But they're pretty much everything kind of, I hate saying it's kind of down, just because I'm
Oh, maybe school would.
those guys. We don't say the quiet word at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so things look pretty decent. So
Maybe school was the answer.
it could very well be.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I
Thank
like
you.
that.
Absolutely.
That's up, there's no more questions.
Such as usual, you're right on point every time. Since school, it's like a highway, a walkway going from Granby High School towards the shopping centers, through up Newport, across the field, through our neighborhood, and over towards McDonald's, 7-Eleven, wherever they're going. But it's since the first day of school. First day of school, it's started.
Some of those kids only have like 1 or 2 classes.
That's part of the
That's
problem.
not-
Yes.
They're not, they can't
Yeah,
keep them on
seniors.
campus if they're not in a class.
So yeah, so we have to, if we come in contact with them, we have to ask them if they have a pass.
Right,
And then if they have a pass, then they're free to
and that's
have a
fine.
good day.
Yeah.
So,
If they have a pass, it's fine, but they
right,
gotta be held accountable too.
yeah. So,
But there's a school resource officer.
yeah, Taylor. So what I'll do is,
There's one guy with like, what, 2,200 kids,
well, he's got a security
he's-
team.
or does he?
Yeah.
He knows who's missing too.
Especially if they're
So-
hanging out at the
So, yeah, so it's the beginning of the year. I'll get up with him
wellness center.
and let him know that the issue's
We noticed.
starting again.
We've noticed, yes.
Yes, I'm sure. But we'll see what we can do. And as always, I mean, if you see me, you can always call him in the street and see you.
School starts at 7:20.
So like.
So it's like 7:30 all the way on through.
I know, I
And
know,
just
that's how I
like-
asked them, what's the-
Security in the past, and hoping they get security again this year.
Okay.
So.
Do you hear that same thing about Maury, or is it just Granby?
It's probably, the only other high school is Norview High School, and we get the same issues over at Norview High School. Anything further south is First Precinct there. I imagine they do, but I don't know. So,
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You know, I love you.
We'll handle this guy for you. Thank you for all you do, and we'll be in touch.
Yes.
All right, so on to our featured speaker tonight. We've been waiting for a while. Everyone's very excited, John, so we'll turn it over to you to say a few words if you like, and then maybe then we can let people walk around a bit, and then maybe we convene back for questions.
Should we let him talk first?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Give a quick intro to
So,
it, then maybe let people
Save your
walk, and then
questions
we-
for after he's
If
done
you have
with
group
his
questions, we can
presentation.
ask them as a group.
Thank you.
Maybe not after. So,
My name is John Alford. I'm the city architect. I'm the project manager for the New Fitness Wellness Center. About a month ago, we did a community meeting where we discussed this proposed project. What I'm going to show you tonight is what the winning design build team showed us. I'll walk you through the site plan. It's going to be easier afterwards for people to come up and ask questions, but I have no problem doing that.
And real quick, John, I'll mention that community meeting was taped and it is on the city's website.
Yes.
I think it's a little hard to see the screen because the sun got in the way, but you can see it first person here.
Yeah, our engineers will do a better job designing this building than that. They just picked the wrong spot. But they paid for it, so it's all about it. So this is the site plan. Shaw Road on the left side is Newport Avenue. The building is positioned just about where the old center was. We are going to take the existing building down. We had studies done. The building has reached its lifespan. So we're gonna take that section of the property and we're gonna build a new building. We're gonna put parking on the back side. We know from some of our meetings that there's some trees that are back here that we can't touch, so we're gonna make some adjustments to the parking. The wetlands is over here on this side, so what we're gonna do is a nature walking path that goes all the way around the site. And we may do something, a little area where students and kids can go, because the library is on the back side, and the library has children go out to that and explore the wetlands. So we've got parking along east side. We've got pickleball courts and tennis courts. That field is shown as a soccer field, but what we really want to show is it's a large green space. That just gives you an idea how big it is. We're going to change the entrance. Everybody using this as their only way to get into the site. So, but in an emergency, if people have to evacuate from the building, it's good to have two ways to get there. This is the old pump station.
I mean, the new pump station.
For me, it's old.
Existing pump
This is
station.
the existing pump station. We're going to use some of that road, so you can still access the pump station and the natatorium on this side here. Okay, gymnasium, looking at some outdoor exercise area, a running track, so they can do some sprint work. Playground, 2 playgrounds for different age children. Picnic area, And this will be our entry canopy to come into a 2-story entry space. And that's this piece right here. I'm gonna pull the board up a little bit.
Should we put it up here?
Well, there's one on the table too.
There's actually one on the table. So we have an entry canopy to come into a 2-story space.
We'll get to walk around, Chris.
If you go directly to your side, there's an auditorium. It has a 25-yard pool. It has a splash pad. It has a lazy river. And it has a therapy pool. This pool is a competitive swimming pool. So if they want to do swimming meets and stuff, they'll be able to do that. Locker rooms. The gymnasium is on the other side. We've got lockers, showers. We've got weight rooms, fitness classrooms. There is some seating. Then on the other side of this running track here, it actually has an outdoor cardio area if you want to exercise outside. And on the other side is the natatorium seating. And I believe the seating is for 200 people. So again, if they're having a competitive meet, they've got seating for those people. The go across is the library, their offices, and the recreation center offices on the other side. Go back. Library. First floor, this is the library. Again, that's the outside, that's how they can get outside. This is their nature exploring right here. They've got a program room, so if they want to have, a library wants to give a program, they've got space to do that, storage, and then here's the library for the different adult stacks, and they've got a children's area back here. Anyone have any questions?
But no, I want to say, I want to say one thing first. So John is here to talk about the site and the building. All right, anything program related is going to go through Parks and Rec and Daryl Crittenden. Okay, so there's nothing here we can talk about tonight as far as like the programming and staffing inside this space. That'll come a little bit later. And also anything Prime Plus related is through Bob. That's also not part of this.
But I'm happy to leave my card. If anybody wants to send me a question or ask me a question, I'm happy to do that.
You
Yes.
mentioned, I see where the locker rooms are, but is there a restroom facility on the library side? And then what restroom facilities on the second floor?
Library side, the restrooms are right here.
Okay, the same place, yeah, but
And then this is the gymnasium, swim side is over
longer area.
here.
What's the time frame?
Well, couple of things. We expect to start taking down the existing building May and it's the fall of 27. It's a long time.
Did you get elevations?
I do, but I don't have them. We don't have a way to get that screen up.
Could, but I don't think we got anything plug in the monitor.
Without the next meeting, I'll bring elevations for you to see what the building looks like.
We'll probably go on this one.
So everything is set in stone here? This is the plan?
Well, I don't want to say set in stone, but the program that the libraries and what recreation are looking for, this is what's shown on this drawing here.
When I was at the first meeting and they showed the surveys, the number one outdoor recreation thing was the outdoor pool.
Right.
And that's been scrapped for a parking lot. And a lot of people are here because of that.
Okay.
And
You have to shelve it until the next year. The pool that we're doing here, you can use all year round.
And Daryl had shared at the meeting a month ago that the city has found that I think they said they had 12 lifeguards a year ago, and now they have 38.
Yeah, they have a
Who
hard
was
time
the successful
staffing.
design build team?
but they have an outdoor pool on the other side of the city. They house that one. So they're closing this one on our side, which it's over
Who's
by
about
Market
Chesterfield?
State. We were told repeatedly there's an outdoor pool.
There's one in
outside the city,
Chesterfield.
But we're losing ours. But they're housing the lifeguards over there.
I can't speak for recreation. But you can send me that question and I will give it to Daryl for them to respond to. I'm happy to do that.
The successful design build team.
MEB. and Clark Nixon is the architect for them.
Is
Yes.
this a new Norfolk Public Library?
Yes,
Are they gonna be closing one of the others?
not that I know of. Sure.
Why not? So for the outside, workout equipment and stuff like that, why not make that more of an enclosed space that can be opened up to the outdoors and stuff?
Well, because we have the same equipment on the inside too. Yes.
What outdoor pool are we
I just
using?
know
The
that
one that's right
the
there?
outdoor
That's indoor.
pool
No, there's an
is-
outdoor pool here.
Oh,
there's
is part of
I never
kids
knew.
growing up, in a neighborhood. It's just, the summer, I see that it's seasonal. But that's when the kids are out of school and they have time. And, it's a lot cheaper than going to the Y or something. Not all kids, and it's right here. So I've been hearing the same thing.
Mhm.
And I teach high school, but, I remember being a kid. That's part of summertime, and they can change and hire some high schoolers,
No, that's the problem. Daryl, when we were at the last meeting, Daryl said, as a matter of fact, this pool here was open 4 days a week. And that was because that was the most he could hire, not because of budget, because he couldn't fill the positions.
Could,
Okay,
how
he
many
had
people
4 days,
joined?
that was the only,
could we get the program people, the people that we could ask the program questions to, could we get those
we
people
could
here
try
to
to
speak?
do that.
Because this gentleman can't do
Yeah.
anything.
No, I understand.
And there's no reason to
I
complain to
understand.
him.
Yeah.
You know?
So again,
Part of
this-
the whole thing is that we, the high school kids, the notion that you're gonna get high school kids or college kids, wherever to work, sitting
And,
We don't need to
Yeah,
add-
so
and we're
the-
wasting our time. with
No,
them.
Well,
that's
no,
not a program.
This is, so, but again, this is at the architect level now. I mean, if we brought Daryl in, what he could tell you is, he doesn't know what programs he's gonna put in here exactly
Yeah.
yet, because
Yeah.
it's 3 years away, right?
Right.
Well,
But we have to know what programs are gonna go in so that we can make sure the facility will support the programs.
Well,
So they know the general pieces, right? Correct. Correct. I mean, they know they want to host swim meets. They know they want, the check boxes, right, that were on there. But if you ask them, I mean, exactly how it's going to be staffed or what days it's going to be open or anything, I mean, they don't have any idea.
Well, maybe it's
Yeah.
because it's only open 4 days a year, but I'm here just about every day playing pickleball. No one was in the pool, ever. The gymnasium did have a lot of young kids playing basketball, sometimes pickleball on one side, basketball on the other. So there were a lot of kids inside playing, basketball, whatever they were doing, but I never saw anyone in the pool.
it was so hot this summer.
It's hot every summer.
It was blazing hot, too hot to sit out poolside.
We were all there. I mean, yeah, the guys who were there. Did you see people at the pool?
That's the reason you have, anyway, I'm just saying, no one was there. I don't care what the reason was.
Yeah.
Not 'cause it's hot, cold,
Could
too
be
hot,
days
too
that it
cold,
wasn't
too
open.
windy.
Well, it wasn't open in the morning.
Yeah.
They didn't have hours until after 12
Because they couldn't
hours.
get staff.
So-
These are all different questions.
So-
That part is.
They opened that pool, you would see there was a big influx of people that rejoined the rec centers because they finally opened the pool.
They just didn't go.
So they went, they just went when it was open.
Hang on. We got a question over here.
Okay.
So wait, I have a question.
Hold on.
Liz, she
hold on.
was holding her hand.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a good girl.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Not easy. Do you happen to have a handout that has these renderings and other information?
I'd have to have some made up.
Could somebody call you and arrange for that?
Or is there some way that we could post that on the website?
And download
Well,
it. Yeah.
The presentation is on the website. I mean, I can
The
get.
video or the
The
actual?
video is on it. I
Okay.
can get the presentation posted. I can try.
That
to
would,
get
that
it
would be
posted.
good if the presentation could be posted, because that would have those
That has
things.
the elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
You
which,
can take pictures
which,
of them while you're here. I'm gonna.
No, the presentation, remember,
No,
during,
no, I know that, but if you want pictures of that.
oh, yeah, I know, I got them already here too,
and which website are we talking
the
about?
city parks.
The city has the presentation posted on the website.
Parks and Recreation.
That same website has the responses to, it started putting the responses to all the questions that we took at the community meeting and a couple of emails afterwards. They're all being added onto that website now.
Thank you.
I believe we've got those links on our website, so check there. And I think you can get to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I see this very small room that says youth drop-in childcare, and but I see the playgrounds are on the opposite side of the building, and I don't even know what that. How are we going to have daycare here?
While you're here swimming.
Again, I think that's a programming question. I believe.
Yeah,
the,
I mean it's on here. It says
Well, I mean,
childcare.
while some of the programs are going on, people may.
Oh, for that kind of okay.
I have a real quick question.
Okay, it's not a
Do
daily
we have
thing.
any, way that like there's sliders that maybe bring the fresh air in, or is that just kind of all enclosed?
Yeah, that's a good
It's
idea.
enclosed, but the mechanical system will be able to handle that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, humidity, getting the humidity out of the air and keeping the air conditioned is a big part of this facility.
Yeah.
It's the reason why the dome didn't stop functioning.
But and we do have a lot of days in the spring and fall that we could have windows that operate. I mean, just like sometimes it's so hot in here and we have something, we have to open them. And I don't know who said that, but I think it's important that we have some way to get fresh air in when the mechanical system goes
Sustainable
down.
Design and green buildings, you're not gonna have a lot of open windows. That's just not
Oh,
the way
no, I
it
would
works.
disagree with that.
I'm pretty sure none of these windows are gonna.
I will disagree big time with it. And getting certified, they have operable windows. They are not sealed.
That natatorium.
Oh, not the natatorium. No, not that. No.
Well, then I think you're down to the gym. The library can't have operable windows because they need the humidity the other way.
For books.
Mhm.
For books.
Well, actually, we designed, when I was with Clark Nixon, the library at the base at Little Creek, and it has operable windows.
Have they used
And it's certified. It was one of the first certified green buildings in this area. And it's the base library. There are ways mechanical systems can handle that. And when it's, I'm not going to go into that. Never mind.
There you go.
But I disagree with you. And whoever brought that up, I think it's very important.
There you go.
And I disagree that green buildings do have operable windows. Yeah. If you want to be certified.
Go.
All right, so not to bring up a sore subject, Southside had a lot of problems because the AC had problems, the parts had to come from Canada to be brought down. There was like, what, Scott, 2 years of us issues trying to go to swim meets down there. I'm not trying to meet you guys on the chopping block or anything like that, sir. So I just want to know, are we not going to be outsourcing our air conditioning to a foreign country again?
It's too soon for me to be
Okay,
able to
right.
answer that question, but I hope we're not either.
Appreciate it.
That again would not be green.
And I haven't looked up closely yet, but is there a room similar to this one where we would have?
Yes, there is a program.
Yeah, we made sure of that.
Sir, is the boardwalk on the wetland land, is it gonna affect the surrounding environment? Do you possibly know?
No, it's gonna be elevated. That's the idea.
Linda, you'd asked about the elevations. I know one thing they said in the presentation was that the natatorium, and I think you can kind of see it, but they're putting, I don't know if it's floor to ceiling windows.
Oh, I see a lot of glass. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see a
lots
lot
of glass,
glass.
but the glass is mostly on the north and east side to avoid the west sun.
Which
or
is
south
good.
sun.
That's good.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you don't bake and.
Well, we'll have the glare.
Right. And I guess with that being said, is there a way to, I guess hopefully some special sealant on the windows so that it reflects heat and lighting, UV lighting coming into the building?
Well, there's two things to look out for doing that. One is, the glass will be, thickness of the glass will help to do that. But the other thing is to be careful not to make the glass too reflective, because then we have to worry about bird strikes.
Oh, that's true.
So that, you know, we have to
I
work
wasn't even there.
between those two things to make sure that we don't do that. We were approached by the other birds. So.
Well, to be fair, there's a lot of birds that fly around
And their comment was, this last phase was where all those trees are. That could be an issue.
And sitting off of the birds.
You said the builders are MEB and.
Clark Nixon, yes.
So MEB in charge of hiring the subs?
Yes.
Are they like local subs or coming out?
Well, we always try to do local. That's part of the requirements.
And there's one special subcontractor for the pool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That specializes in that.
I just have a comment, and it is that the pool area looks a lot like the one at Huntsville Recreation Center, which is part glass and part wall. And there is no outdoor pool there, but there's a ton of stuff for children to do in that swimming pool. Will this one have that?
Yeah, there's a particular area for the children. Plus, this is a lazy Susan, so if you want to exercise.
Lazy River.
He's
a lazy You get hungry.
This is a lazy neighbor. So if you want to exercise. Yeah. If I go home and tell my wife that.
We're thinking about dinner.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, does everyone want to get up and, I don't know, walk and take a closer look and see things? Or Ellen, do you want to answer your question
I
first?
guess so, since this area is kind of prone for hurricanes and strong storms and things like that, what features does this facility have in place?
Well, by code,
for
we have minimum wind resistant requirements that building as a shelter in the event that we have a bad storm. So, that's yet to be determined.
And where the pickleball courts are now, is that kind of trying to just figure out where those are? Is that kind of where it's further back than where the tennis current?
Well, the tennis court on the edge of the site, edge of the green space, you can't take that. So we actually.
So all like the mature like live oaks and everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody
And you know, that we had that one little parking lot that they built, then next to all those trees. You can't,
Okay, good. That's all right.
Yeah, it is on the outdoor one, it's specifically marked that big live oak that's right in the middle of the parking lot right now.
Oh, I know.
Is
Yeah, that's
specifically
protected.
tagged.
I saw it tagged, existing tree.
We've got a new set of drawings, because we went out on the site with the arborist.
Okay.
And he basically went with all the trees so we have another drawing that's all lined up with those trees. All those trees have been saved. We can't cut any of those trees down. So we showed a red brick and a buff. So we haven't locked in on that. So where some people say they like the buff.
And the glass will be.
I know you said it's expected to open when in 2027?
We're talking about probably fall of 27.
So I know some of this construction lingers. Does that include any expected delays, or could it possibly kind of?
Well,
like you said, expected.
What I would expect to do is ask when the project gets started, do your monthly meeting. That does happen. But that happens.
But that, I think maybe the one thing we didn't mention was, but implied, right, was that when the demolition starts here, I mean, this facility won't be here until the construction is completed. Right.
Yes.
I think they said they were gonna try to leave some parts of the field open as long as they could, but.
They said the field and
They'll keep the field until they need it, if they need it for lay down area. Because that's this is really a small site for such a big building. I mean, we're looking at 100,000 square foot building. The budget is 600,000 square feet.
So it's the same.
That's 2-story. This is one.
Do we know where we're going to? Do we know where we'll hold the civic league meetings when they close this down?
That's a question we're discussing, is where we're gonna go.
A lot of the programs are going over to Titustown. Can we use the
Some are.
facility?
We've discussed a lot of options that we're looking into, trying to figure out what's the right way, because there's probably not anywhere within the civically proper that we could continue meets. We're trying to figure out what's the closest location just outside.
Once upon a time.
School or the Masonic Lodge or Titustown, or we're trying to run down the list. So if anyone has other suggestions.
I know when I was president, we met at the fire station. They have a nice room there.
That was the new one?
The one that's down here on Granby. It's not really new. It's been there all the time.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're trying to explore.
Because it was like 98, 99, 2000 when I was president. So it's been there a while.
All right, well, thank you, John. If you don't mind hanging around to let people walk around a bit, maybe when we wrap up here, that'd be great. Let me see up close.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and we will definitely get, okay, so on to the next couple of things. So hopefully we still have time to look at these at the end. I want to introduce Tommy Leeman, who's one of our candidates for mayor. Come and say hello to us and
Mayor.
tell us what's up.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I love a good spicy conversation. We're coming in. Everyone should have, we gave you a card. If not, back here in the crowded room, which is awesome. There's a QR code you can scan and take to the website. There's also some general information to take with you, and then also any signs. On my website, there is a Tell Tommy button at the top. So things, questions that you have, suggestions, I read those weekly, gather them and answer them. I usually will then do a video. Tommy talks on Tuesdays about the questions that I've gotten, and and certainly just feedback. So it's a great thing to go there. But on the website does list my pillars of the campaign that my parents got stationed here in 1977 in Ocean View. So I'm here, I like to say my whole life, but I can't actually get that credit. My wife, Meg, who's here of 27 years, she gets the credit of being born and raised in Norfolk. I graduated. I attended Ocean View Elementary School and graduated Granby and Maury. We have two boys, and to make sure that we kept that tradition alive, our oldest son, Boyd, went to the International Baccalaureate program here at Granby and graduated from Granby. And then our younger son, Miller, he actually graduated from Maury High School. So we kept that going. Really good. So one of the things we talk about is on my pillars it comes to education. So that is one of the most important things to me. I did talk to an educator who came in here earlier, and I look forward to additional questions after this meeting, or potentially, at some other point on the Tell Tommy. Because I think one of the things the city does, what's happening and who's coming and what's going on with this part. But I'll get back to myself, and why I brought that up is I did something unique in high school. I got a vocational degree at Granby High School. So I attended the VOTEC on Military Highway. My teacher there, Mr. Teddy Morton, told me about, hey, I know you're going to apply for universities, but maybe think about a trade school, something fascinating. So I actually applied for the Joint Apprenticeship Training Committee. It's a 5-year program in electrical. I got into that program. I got into other colleges, but I thought I wanted to do something else with my hands and school. So it's a 5-year program, and you do night school. I graduated at the top of my class and actually got an award from the city for having perfect attendance for 5 years. Wow. So about the dedication. I became one of the youngest master electricians in the state of Virginia at the time, and opened a very small business called Leeman Electric. At that time, I also got invited to come back and teach at the vocational center, which I did for 3 years. So Mondays and Wednesdays, 6:30 to 9:30, and grading papers and running the business was something I felt a calling, and I gave back. In we won't worry about the dates, but I sold the business a few years later to JMK Electric and got into personal wealth management. I worked for 20 years for Wells Fargo Advisors, the private client group, and opened my own firm 5 years ago on May 6th of 2020. During that time, I still like doing things. So I was a volunteer firefighter for 10 years for Station 8 A shift in Chesapeake, because the city of Norfolk doesn't have a volunteer program, which I would certainly like to look into. And some people are confused about a volunteer program in Chesapeake. It's a full paid staff. I was just an extra person on the engine or on the ladder or on the med. So you go through the same training, but it's for people that, don't don't want to commit to it, but, you know, wanted to give back to their communities, of the Downtown Norfolk Council. So what that means is I was in charge of the 40 blocks in downtown inside the bid. So I got a lot of opportunities to sit in the room with city managers, you know, council at different points in time, different departments, and listen to the things that they were talking about in downtown, but never had an opportunity for a vote. So you had a, you know, you had that voice, but not a vote. So one of the things that prompted me to run for mayor was that when I look back, and we've had 4 city managers in the last 8 years. We've had at least 5 economic development directors, 3 chief of police, and 2 superintendent of schools. And there's no cohesiveness. And one of the things I know as mayor that I can bring is that collaboration from council, city manager, and other departments to make sure that we can get focused on what is important for Norfolk and listening to what's going on in Norfolk. I've said before that a lot of times we have elected officials that show up and take a picture, but they don't take the time to listen. So one of the things I've been doing with the council of different neighborhoods, certainly civic leagues, everyone loves their neighborhood. They don't want, you know, they want certain things in their own neighborhood. They're not against other neighborhoods getting it, but they're very focused on their neighborhood. And I heard somebody talk about the, you know, the outdoor pool across the way is extremely important. And one of the things, introduction.
You just mentioned about, you know, the different positions that, you know, seeing kind of a revolving door on. What would you do, or what would you bring? I mean, how do you plan to solve that problem? You know, somebody comes here and they're city manager and they stay for a year and a half and then they got another opportunity to leave. What
piece of plan, because we're going to have city council talking, we're going to have an open transparency policy.
Okay.
That part. I mean, I've coached high school baseball, Greenville High School, up until 2 years ago. So for 13 years, I was on the ball field right down the street. So when somebody talked about people going through stop signs and things of that nature.
I'm around here too. What is your stance there? How can you resolve some of those or lessen some of the crime that we have here?
I think part of that is hoping to keep a police chief here. I think that's one of the big things. I mean, we've had 3 police chiefs, and technically we've had 4 because Goldsmith was the chief twice. And I think getting that part. I mean, we won an award in 2019 for being the lip sync battle across the nation, and that's when you have the just everybody wants to be part of that. But I think the culture for the police department has changed. I think that's a big thing, and we have to make sure that we have in our budget right now to hire enough police officers. We can't get the applicants. I mean, we talk about not having money. We actually have the money. We just can't get applicants to do it because the police officer looks at it and says, "I'll go work in Chesapeake somewhere else versus Norfolk."
But can we make arrests and keep them in jail instead of putting them out on the street?
That's not the mayor's job. But,
I know,
but hopefully that collaboration.
That's a different elected official we can bring.
Yeah. But it is, but it's his responsibility to oversee that.
That's what we're having.
Yeah, partially. So
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Say the DA.
Yeah, there are other elected officials.
There are.
They have to work together and accountability.
The same with the schools, the school board, you know. But how do we oversee that?
If you were concentrating.
I'm
jealous of Colley Avenue and Kent, and here we are, this empty behemoth store over here. It's been here since I've lived here for 30, 40 years. It's been the same as since I've lived here, and nothing happens. We hear, we don't, nothing happens.
Well, something's happening in Ward's Corner. I see
No, across the street.
I know.
Yeah.
Across the railroad track.
Yeah, the other side of the track.
Look at ODU, look at Ghent, look at Colley Village, and look at us. And it's been like this forever. I used to write letters to Mayor, who's the mayor?
Frank.
Yeah.
Frank. That's mayor's in 30 years.
That's how long.
But you know,
and Ken Alexander, business is right up the street. You know, I don't understand why he doesn't pay attention to us.
And to add on to what she said, and you've been here since you said the 70s?
77.
You remember when Ward's Corner was a booth?
I do. I will say, I know there's a lot of development. There's a lot of questions. There's, a lot of activity over there. I know that, for example, where the old, I want to say Eckerd was on that corner. I know that that's changed hands recently, so there might be some ideas there. Certainly, council can speak to what's happening on some of those pieces. I'm not privy to that information yet, but it is certainly activity. But I will tell you, you're not any different. Everyone's jealous of somebody else because I'm down in Ocean View. I spoke at Pinewell, and they were very upset about, their Harris Teeter there. and that parking lot and what's going on. And they have a nice little gem of the big bands on the bay.
Yeah.
And, but people were nervous to walk across and park over there now.
Exactly.
So, I mean, everybody's jealous of some, but looking at all of Norfolk, not just one piece, is extremely important. And that's where your council individuals, your ward representatives are extremely important to do that. And one of the things as mayor is setting the agenda. We want to, I want to approve the agenda. I want the agenda set by current representation on the wards. And this is a unique year. You have 6 seats this year for election in Norfolk. You have the mayor's seat, you have 2 Superward seats for city council, and then you have 2 Superwards for school board and Ward 5 for school board. So 5 of those 6 seats, the incumbents are not running. I get the lucky one. But yeah, so you have a question?
Oh, on the matter of economics and development, I guess what is your plan? How would you set the agenda so that we can get some of these large properties that the city has taken possession of moving? Because I mean, is there anything you could do with like expediting the RFP process or just getting people lined up so that we aren't just coming up with a plan and then finding out like a year later that, nope, we're not doing that now?
Well, part of that comes from, I think, the turnover in the economic development position. Sean Washington is our current economic development director. But you know, I don't know, well, most people operate, but I typically don't buy things without a plan in there and something there. And we haven't done it. I mean, we closed military circle with no plan. We bought the mall, and I don't disagree with the mall being purchased for us buying it so that we can control what we want to have happen there. But for example, when I mentioned about being the former chair of the Downtown Norfolk Council, the mall at one point was valued, I think, $250 million. It was 15% of my budget for the ambassadors. So when you're downtown, and you see the lovely, great people wearing the lime green shirts. Those are work for the Downtown Norfolk Council. That's who they are. So the business down there pay into the bid. That I don't really think is viable with a 400-room military-themed hotel, and it's not privy to. And that's one part is the transparency of what's happening in projects, whether it's Military Highway, MacArthur Mall, and we can even even the casino project that we can talk in there. Other questions? Right. And I'm going to stay afterwards, so don't.
We have a homeless problem too.
Sorry?
A big homeless problem in our city. So I don't know if you've
That's also what the
got
Community
any
Services
plans
Board.
or.
The Community Services Board, well, we bought a building over there off of Tidewater and Virginia Beach Boulevard, where I'm not sure the number of people that house, but we bought a property with the Community Services Board. So I'm trying to get people services. One of the things is mental illness. And I look back and I think on an EVMS, which is not EVMS, but that part focuses on that mental health issue. Mental health issue over there for them to do that. And we getting those officers this year. Now, he's doing a job to protect and serve, but we also need people that have the illness part of it. And
Yeah,
that's a
but we
big
need
deal.
housing for those people.
Yeah.
We need to, I mean, it's cruel for them to be on the streets like they are.
And some of them, unfortunately, if we did have that direct housing, it'd still be tough to get them there. But they need to have, again,
And
to have that
that's the mental-
opportunity.
mental health.
Need to have that opportunity. Well, I'm listening to that. Oh, he's starting to finish.
You can ask after. You're not going anywhere.
All right. Thank you very much. You are the ones that are engaged in your neighborhoods and your cities. I heard when I came in, he said to make sure you tell your neighbors and things of that nature. But they're the active, engaged ones. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. I might not have an answer, but we're going to go find an answer. And certainly, have Councilman Morris here. I mean, that's one of the things. I love to go to meetings now, even though I know it's an election year. He's not up for election, but election year to see the city council representative and coming and listening as well.
School board, Superward 6. So if you're not aware, Tommy alluded to it. Noel is not seeking election here. As the Superward.
From this area, I grew up in Virginia Beach, but I had multiple birthdays at Regina public schools. They've come up through elementary school. I have a middle schooler and a high schooler. My mom taught in Virginia Beach for 38 years. So we're long families of educators. And currently I am the marketing director at First Presbyterian Church. on Colonial Avenue. And I work for two nonprofits. Interestingly,